Semi-final about to commence. St Kilda to the left. And the Kangaroos go to the right. Everett went in very hard. Scholl gets the first kick to half forward. Carey, Scott, clever by Scott, he's a good goal kicker. This could be a brilliant start for North Melbourne. Now what happened there? Free kick coming back, is it, or is it a goal? Goal for Scott. North Melbourne player was interfered with when shepherding, but Scott was away and has kicked the opening goal of the match. And a free kick coming back, is it?
Well, it looks like North Melbourne are going to get a freebie here, with Anthony Stevens lining up for the second shot at goal for North Melbourne in the space of 10 seconds.
And this from about 40 metres out, and I think he's kicked it. He's got it. Well, what a sensational start here. 2 goals on the scoreboard for North Melbourne. Scott kicking the goal, Stevens being interfered with and getting a free kick against Keogh. And within a minute of the match, North Melbourne are 2 goals in front. That is a double whammy, isn't it?
Quite remarkable. 25 seconds gone, actually, Bruce. There's Ashenko and Everett. So they're down 2. Ashenko slaps it down towards half forward. Nichols under the ball. Peckett got it away to Winmar. Cleverly done to Anderson. Burke alongside the centre circle down towards half forward. Matthews almost the mark. Is it paid? Perhaps in the back against Laidley. That's the call. So Matthews right on the 50. It'll take a good kick from here. The breeze hardly a factor, apart from the fact that it is very cool.
Nicky Winmar being picked up by John Blakey. Thought that Swass may have got that job. Dean Matthews kicked 2 last quarter goals last week.
It's a straight kick. Has it got the carry? Not quite. Right on the goal line, off hands. Everett still battles. Across the line it goes. Swass there too. And behind. They trail by 11. Remarkable start to the semi-final.
Scott and Stevens kicking goals within 25 seconds. We saw the North Melbourne bench a moment ago. Laidley provides a lead and gets it. Goes to centre wing. Keogh at the back. Mickey Martin will up from fullback to Mark Roberts. Always a good kick. That one measured at 50 now. Longmire will out from the goal front. Tackle by Grant. Take by Carey was excellent. Fantastic handball. Wonderful vision. And Stevens kicks his second. North Melbourne's third. An extraordinary start.
Good work, Dom. Keep it going.
Well, it came straight from defence for North Melbourne on that occasion, and Anthony Stevens just proves what a good runner he is. You see there Grant in combating there with Brett Allison. It appears to be a bit of a mismatch. Great handball there from Wayne Carey, and what a start to Stevens.
So 90 seconds of playing time. How about this? 4 scoring shots already. Everett got it down to Winmar. Swass gets back across half-back. Nicely done. This is Reynolds towards the wing. Blakey couldn't control it. Goes again. Met solidly. Got it nicely to Scott. Scott kicks it down towards the 50. Carey's in front. He's marked about 60 metres from goal. Back to Scott, who got the opening goal. Kicks looking for Longmire. Getting back is Everett. The Saints under pressure early. Everett towards midfield. Pekin drifting into open space. Inside the centre square, the veteran. The captain tonight. Up from half-back. Towards half-forward with the kick. Coming up the ground, Thornborough missed it. Reynolds gathered the bouncing ball. Kicks towards the outer side wing. Burke gets back, controls it nicely. With some time, kicks towards half-forward. Good kick too. Keogh takes it, breaks. Keogh forward at the wing, towards half-forward. Ill-directed, Ashenko up, uncontested, takes the mark.
A warhorse this fellow Ashenko, isn't he? Still going strongly. Turns 31 this year. Hollow at the back of Roberts. Rock. Devonport high. Rock's free kick at half-back. Had groin problems last year, as Gerard said prior to the match. He struggled last year compared with a brilliant season the year before. But back in early season form. Notice you called this man the king in the intro too, King Carey. What a player. To Stevens, to Roberts. North have started outstandingly here in brilliant form. Touch play on, Longmire in the pocket, out of play, about 45 metres from the goal. North Melbourne in their left forward pocket. We look at their bench. Kanachenko and Capuano closest to us. Campbell also there. It's 18-1. Everett, Roberts, Stevens, Carey, prominent already. Wakeland with him, still Carey. Hand that time caught by Devonport. Devonport caught and turned. And Stevens has been prominent with a couple of goals. And it'll be a bounce about 55 metres from North Melbourne's goal.
Anthony Stevens, 2 goals already. Fine. Expected low 11 degrees. Getting cooler. Everett slaps it down. This is Burke. Floats one towards the wing. A battle out there. Matthews claiming he was held. This is Coughlin playing it down towards half forward. Has some pursuers. He played it pretty well, Coughlin. The big man's still going on his knees. Thornborough. They lack mobility, but they get the ball. Anderson off about 1 step inside the 50. Low from behind. Got hands to it. Couldn't hang on. Ross Smith comes away. Chips it towards the outer side. This is King. Close to the boundary line. King wants to go. That's too easy. Kicks it long towards half forward. Knocked on by Longmire. Nichols missed it. This is Peckett. Deep in his own defence now, Peckett. Has a bounce. Comes Members' side with a kick, and not a bad one either. Awkward bounce for Zilla. He was pushed in the back. They deserved a bit of luck there. He was in front. The kick was good. The bounce was bad.
Zilla got the job on Wayne Swass. Pretty good game last week. Looks like a hard, tough character, always at the bottom of the packs.
Gets it to Pekin. Acting captain for all his absence. Coughlin, interchange coming on. Damon Shaw on. Coughlin at about 60. Looking for Lowe. Outnumbered Ashenko easily. Lowe with Martin. Now Scott. Takes on Everett. Chips it away cleverly. Gets it to Armstrong. So a couple of their prize recruits together there, Scott and Armstrong, to centre wing. Carey body on body with Wakeland. Courage shown by the St Kilda player there. Anderson held up for it. Armstrong. Clever. Carey. Well done. He's in scintillating form early. Longmire the target. Shanahan puts up a big paw and takes the mark at centre half back.
Shanahan's done pretty well in the first couple of goes at the football. He's just pushed Longmire underneath the ball and kept him out of the contest.
Winmar's got it. Left half back towards midfield. Reynolds over the top. Gets it down to Rock, waiting in front. Rock towards centre half forward. Longmire comes on the lead and claims the mark just outside the 50. John Longmire, he's never really fired up against St Kilda. He's kicked 24 goals in 8 regular season matches. This will test him. No test at all. That's a magnificent kick. Whoa! Longmire from long range. Another goal for North.
Well, on that occasion, Longmire got the burst, and it was only a couple of yards, but it was a pretty good kick. And that's been his downfall last week. He kicked 1 goal 4. He won the ball beautifully, as he did on that occasion, but didn't take much time at all, as if to say he just wasn't going to back and think about it. Just put it on as a reflex action and kicked it wonderfully well.
Off to a flying start, North Melbourne. 4 goals straight. Stevens a couple, Scott. Longmire from about 55 metres a moment ago. Nichols goes with Peckett. Out wide. Scott, who started pretty well. Winmar with him. Throw against Scott. Winmar free kick at half back. He also has had some touches. Has this champion, Nicky Winmar. This will be his 4th. Leading goal kicker at the club in 88. Chips to Hollow. Chips again to Everett. Need a goal badly, the Saints. Just a steady. Had 2 against them in the first half minute. Shaw's handball. Anderson went without it. Coughlin over the top. He'll go for that, I'd say. No, not. Tucked it in underneath, and Matthew Armstrong.
He's being picked up by Dean Anderson, who's back into the side for St Kilda tonight after reportedly being ill last week.
Robertson Everett. So many options for North Melbourne. Well done, Armstrong. Very well done to Scott, whose pace was excellent. Breaks away, centering kick, Longmire, over the back, Rock, left foot for goal. Just misses. So it's all happening for North Melbourne at the moment. At 4 goals won, the Saints are rushed behind as we look at the St Kilda bench. Aussie Jones, as the Big Dipper mentioned, was there. 3 goals last week. Burke to bring her back in.
Short to the pocket. Hollow. Now, this is the tricky one. The second kick from this position. There's Grant up ahead. Hollow hugs the boundary line. Wakeland, almost the grab. Out of bounds. A little lackluster, all of that.
Pretty daunting task for anybody kicking out to look up, and your only option is 2 metres beside Wayne Carey.
Well, you are restricted if you go that deep to one pocket, aren't you? Virtually to that side of the ground, unless you come back, which can be fraught with danger as well. Allison got it over the top. Scott, who's been terrific. Awkward bounce. This is Grant. Nicely done. Squares the ball. Taken by Devonport. Is it right half back? Devonport confronted with a similar problem. Goes for distance around the outer side. Not bad policy. Everett has paid the mark. He's on the wing. Well, the mark will stand. It will come back. The umpire paying the mark. It's not a free kick. So Everett with the ball. Lanky customer. Goes down towards half forward. Clears all and sundry down there, then bounced off the chest of Cornborough. Scholl got it across to Ashenko. He's looking for Blakey. Winmar over the top. Loose ball behind. Who's got the foot speed? Pekin has initially. Armstrong wearing him like a glove. Armstrong gets in front now. Pekin comes again. Crashing in there is Blakey. 2 old teammates. And a whistle. Bounce on the wing.
It's been in terrific form, Blakey, this season.
You see Pekin there, he's been swung onto Matt Armstrong. The pace of Robert Scott was just a bit too hot for him early. Cost St Kilda a goal in the opening second.
Zilla's hands pretty good to Anderson at centre wing. High ball to centre half forward. Front spot to Thornbruce. Missed a couple of pretty easy marks. Ashenko. King going off the ground. Pekin's on the ground. To Anderson. To Hollow. To Devonport, who's got a paddock. If he can go over the top, takes a man on, goes again, runs a long way, goes for goal from 60. Good looking kick right there, low, hanging in the air, off hands are behind. More positive attack by the Saints. Both their scores rushed so far. St Kilda bench warming up. Laidley for the second time, able to get loose and then set up Reynolds. Oh, what a difference between the defence of North so far and St Kilda. We saw Hollow wait for an eternity to get rid of the second kick from the kick-in. Martin went to ground, Scott another touch. Roberts is there. With him Hollow. Roberts went over the top of him. Zilla, back turn, onto his left.
Gained about 25 metres. Martin in the road. Armstrong. 7 possessions already for Robert Scott. He started superbly. Longmire. Down in front Nichols. He runs to 50. Bacon goal square. It's wide of the mark and bounces through for a behind.
Wayne Thornborough is off the ground for St Kilda. They've gone for a bit more pace up on the forward line, bringing Austin Jones on. Dean Anderson has just returned back onto Matthew Armstrong. Obviously only a 30-second change made by the players, covering each other's skins.
Beckett, short, up the middle. Devonport, he started pretty well. Plays on, no one standing the mark. Little chip pass. Anderson down low. Gets it across to Shaw, who kicks towards half forward. Hand on the shoulder, nothing doing. Reynolds got it forward. This is Jones to Anderson alongside the centre circle. Kicks inside the 50. O'Brien did very well. Hit the ground running. 35 metres out and closing goal. Craig O'Brien, the first for the Saints.
Craig O'Brien was their real find last year in the forward pocket. He did it particularly well. He's really taken that position in the last couple of years and made it his own. He has his ups and downs, but as a goal-kicking forward pocket, he does pretty well and usually bobs up with a couple.
O'Brien's goal, a beauty for St Kilda. 1-2 to 4-2. Kicked 53 goals from the pocket last year. Ashenko, Blakey back to Ashenko. Again touched off the boot, play on the call. Peckett, good handball to Winmar. Stops, props, takes a couple on brilliantly. Wonderfully done, superb. Then to Hollow, through the centre. Could have run a bit further. Bangs it in the O'Brien direction with Smith. Was he hanging on? Handball by Zilla over the top. Coughlin had to sit, wait. Handball back, Zilla waits. Well done, Zilla, very well done, and just misses. He just kept his cool under great pressure there. Didn't panic, it was a panic situation. Danny Frawley looking on, he worked with us up here last week. And we know how nervous he can get in a tight game. At 1-3 now to 4-2. So the Saints have steadied a bit here. After an onslaught early from North Melbourne.
Smith, short to the pocket. Blakey, out against the line. Where will he go now? Just over 8.5 minutes till quarter time. Great night for footy. Everett, big fist on this one. Jones in front, Shaw slides in. Can't dig it out. Reynolds and Laidley there. Anderson over the top and a ball up.
And obviously Jones will find it more difficult to get away. He's now a well-known character. And he's up against Dean Laidley, who, well, he calls himself the junkyard dog, and certainly Aussie Jones will find it more difficult to get a kick.
One of these sides will go on to the grand final. This is Jones immediately getting a kick down in front of the pack, pulls it back towards the kick-off line. All North Melbourne. Reynolds takes the mark, arriving late O'Brien. Talking about these two sides making the grand final. That's unusual because over the past 3 seasons, both North and the Saints have gone out in the first round. As the kick comes back towards the wing, Wakelin, well, he beat the great man that time. In front, Carey. The Cardinals see him trying to mark from behind, and Wakelin did well. He's on the wing. He goes down towards the 50. Good lead. Coughlin gets down low and takes it close to the ground.
Just outside range, you'd think, at about 55 metres.
Therein lies the future of St Kilda, though. Wakelin at centre-half back, Coughlin at centre-half forward. Great lead, good delivery.
Then goes short. O'Brien low, take your pick. Stewie's got it.
I think he might have been second, though.
I think so.
And maybe, we'll probably go back and kick this, but maybe if you're a Saints fan, you'd prefer O'Brien tucked away in the pocket to have the footy.
No, Stewie needs the practice.
He's a real sharpshooter, as O'Brien. Low kicked 9 goals against Fremantle. He was outstanding last week when he came out to centre-half forward. Paws the ground as he traditionally does. It's his trademark. Measures his run up. Like a fast bowler, isn't he, with a marker. Settles over it. Big kick this one at 1-3 to 4-2. This would really lift the Saints. They're going all right after North started with 2 goals in half a minute. Low steadies, good looking kick. Well, he was stiff, wasn't he? He hit the post.
Looked to hit the inside of the post also, which he wasn't far away, a couple of inches.
9 out of 10, but unfortunately only get 1 out of 6. So 1-4 to 4-2.
Wayne Schwass, North's best and fairest last season, kicks it to himself, runs on, deep to the pocket. Probing kick towards the outer side. Scholl was up, it falls forward, taken by Martin. High kick towards the wing and a big lick from behind by Carey. Umpire says play on. Wakelin again a bit stiff there. Carey trying to mark from behind. This is Nichols, close to the line. Little chip pass down towards the 50. Carey got a hand to it, couldn't hang on. Peckett comes away. Good shepherd by Pekin. Still Peckett. Still Peckett around the outer side. A couple of bounces. Pulls it back towards the middle. Burke's got it and settles inside the centre square. His side down by 16 points. Short. Devonport has been busy. Towards half forward. Pekin's run on. He can run to the 50. Now he kicks from 65. Low from behind. Knocks it forward with some intent. This is Scholl, surrounded, in trouble. Matthews, about 30 metres from goal, dragged down. Laidley under the pump, scrambles a kick across the goal face. Blakey's got it now. Sweeping hand pass. Schwass runs back towards the man chasing Blakey. That was Winmar. Blakey gets the ball back and kicks to the wing.
Longmire the target. Nathan Burke at the back, ridden to the ground, no free kick. Longmire's left-hand handball just missed his mark. Peckett's been good in the last couple of minutes, hasn't he? Goes again. They grab hold of him, and it'll be a ball up at half-back. Coach of North Melbourne, been pretty relaxed, Dennis Pagan. We chatted to him last Monday night at half-time when the Saints were trailing rather badly against Carlton. I reckon he might have thought he was playing the Blues at that stage. It wasn't to be. 2 nights later, he was out here coaching North Melbourne to their victory over Essendon. Johnny Longmire kicked a fantastic goal. Stan Howes, we saw his reaction at the start of the show.
Ironically, played 2 great games in grand finals for North Melbourne, both in the 1 year.
Chris Hollow getting a free kick.
1977, Stan Howes would probably have won the Norm Smith medal for BOG in the drawn grand final.
Devonport has presented himself a number of times short tonight so far. He's had 5 marks and 5 kicks to Hollow. Now he too should go wide. He does. Everett's got it. Lashenko in just a bit late. St Kilda are measuring this at the moment. Got to be completely accurate though when you play like this. Crisscrossing, free kick to O'Brien.
Here's the bonus of having O'Brien, Bruce, because he can play as a dummy centre-half forward. He's quite strong overhead.
Goal square vacant for the moment. Lowe still one out back there with Martin. It's taken a long time, O'Brien. Then he goes in short. It's not going to get far enough. That's a poor performance. Reynolds to Roberts, who fed off him well. Roberts comes wide. His target's Blakey.
Nice bounce for him too. Pulls it back, was pushed in the back. Will it be a real late free kick? I doubt it. I think it'll come back to Blakey. He was pushed in the back as he was kicking. So John Blakey, fine player. He's at right half back. Unsung hero. Long kick down towards half forward. Carey's the target. Wakeland playing well. He's in front. Carey hacks it out of mid-air. St Kilda have got the numbers. This is Devonport. Kick number 6 coming up. Well, maybe. Yes. No. Hand pass. Anderson widens it now to Burke. Burke running down towards half forward. Goes looking for Lowe. Fisted away by Martin. In front, Shaw on his knees. Surrounded by North players. Tries to get it out. Armstrong's in there. Ties it up. And the whistle. Just over 3 minutes to quarter time.
And Nathan Burke appears to be a far more settled player and a better player for St Kilda when he's been given a job to do. And tonight he's responsible for Anthony Rock. He's had 5 touches already and going quite well.
Hayden, Kennedy and Mitchell, the umpire, some experience there for the semi-final. Wakeland again. So Carey, after a tremendous start, Wakeland's been able to hold him up for about the last quarter of an hour. And in the heart of the centre square, it'll be another bounce. North have read Martin's punching away from Lowe very well at the back. They've been able to shark nearly every time the ball's gone in high, and Martin's been able to punch it away. St Kilda Crummers have been in very close, and North Melbourne Crummers have been able to take advantage of a fierce thump away. Schwasser's kick, Burke's kick, they've travelled similar distances. Jones kept his eye on it. Good take by Zilla. Tackle on him was very good by Armstrong. Devonport has been busy. High tackle, free kick. He had him actually, King. Devonport had nowhere to go, but the tackle was just too high. Devonport had tried to sell one dummy and was in a bit of strife, but able to get a second crack. Goes in short, O'Brien. Punch away from Smith. Trapped there by Armstrong. Scholl went off the ground. Smith with poise, as he often does. Not Carey. The target there is Capuano, who's come onto the ground. Forces it forward. Carey. Good take. Devonport had hold. Carey had strength. Nichols' leg, free kick. Just ran down his leg, unfortunately, Pekin. Couldn't hold him up.
Nichols, who bid 28 goals in 19 games last season. His best was 24 back in 1990. Goes looking for Longmire. Of course, Nichols a tiger in that season. The ball is scrambled towards the boundary line. And Shaw had bounced out of bounds. Good result for the Saints. Of course, Trent Nichols, 4 games, 3 goals with the West Coast Eagles, but not something he'll remember all that fondly. Lost for a couple of seasons over there. Back in the big time now. Devonport floats it towards the wing. Scholl was in front. Almost got a free kick. Still he goes, Scholl. Schwass. Now Anderson. Could have been taken high. It spills behind the pack. Nichols is there. Gets it away to Armstrong. The hurried kick towards half forward. Carey from behind. That was better. Got a fist on the ball. Maybe he could have marked that one, but he played with great discipline. Champions do that. It's out of bounds. It'll be thrown in. Doesn't take him long to learn. A couple of times caught out of position, tried to mark and was beaten.
Capuano down to Stevens, held up. Inside the final minute of this opening term, Jones has been busy since coming on to Damon Shaw. Lopes onto the left, takes a while, needs an accurate kick, turns it over to Ashenko in the centre. North could mount one last attack on the opening term. Laidley sidesteps, goes to 50. Longmire, Shanahan set themselves. Longmire second grab, unable to take it. He's outside range now. Armstrong attacking hard. Anderson over the top. The Saints go up towards centre half forward. Winmar went early, had to go early. Blakey tries to get rid of O'Brien's tackle. Ashenko's left-hand handball didn't go far. Nichols rode it well. Gets onto the left boot, goes in short. Pinpoint accuracy to Schwass. We're inside 10 seconds of the first term. Wide to Longmire at 60. Chip pass. Roberts will get it. (4-2 to 1-4). Roberts to take a shot. He'll kick from about 50. Stanalves coming out. Dennis Pagan will be making his way down. It's a very good kick, Roberts. It'll take a very good kick to goal. Just outside 50. Doesn't time it at all. Floats away and falls into Wakeland's hands. So the Saints have done all right here, Gerard. After North Melbourne led 2 goals to nothing in 25 seconds, it's 4-2 to 1-4.
Yes, and Dennis Pagan would have his concerns. Matthew Armstrong started the game in wonderful fashion. He had 5 possessions very early in the piece. But then I thought Dean Anderson got on top of him, and he just choked the supply for North Melbourne somewhat. And Anderson, back from injury, has done quite well in the second half. Damon Shaw on screen. He came on also after a spell on the bench and quietened Anthony Stevens. So they did choke the North Melbourne runners somewhat, and they're back into the game somewhat, St Kilda. North Melbourne still leading 4-2-26 to St Kilda 1-4-10.
First semi-final of the Ansett Australia Cup, Waverley Park, before a healthy crowd on a good night for footy. Entertaining. First term, Roberts, handball, almost chopped off. He was looking for Armstrong. Hollow over the top, took a long time. Gets a free kick.
Rod Keogh back onto the ground for St Kilda, and he's back onto Anthony Stevens.
So Keogh coming back. Kick there by Lappin, who's also on the ground, to Aussie Jones. To Keogh. Keogh caught, gets a quick kick away, up to about 25 metres. Martin playing in front. O'Brien just missed it. Aussie Jones, little left footer. Sheko, well done, big fellow. Has a second go. 2 for 1, the same spot. Gets it to Roberts. Roberts at half back to centre wing. Good kick. Gave Carey some chance. Wakeland over the top of him. Free kick going to Blakey. Into his back. See the umpires mic'd for the Ansett Australia Cup so we can hear their instructions. Blakey away, will go to centre half forward.
Longmire forced to spoil. It comes down in front. This is Scott. He's been very lively. Scott snaps. It bounces the wrong way as far as North are concerned. And behind. Robert Scott has been terrific so far. 8 possessions. Saints bench. Tim Pekin in the foreground, the skipper.
It just did look as if he lacked the yard to go with a couple of the options that North Melbourne were throwing at him.
Devonport. Centre half back. Plays on now towards midfield. 2-on-1 out here. Wakeland set a task. Support arrives. This is Jones. Interesting hand pass, but effective. Hollow. Wobbles it down towards the wing. Schwass did brilliantly. It was a bit unkind to him. Circumstance there. Zilla. They keep the ball in, not according to the umpire. Coughlin was pushed in the back by Scholl. And he'll get the free kick. Hard against the boundary line. Glenn Coughlin. Likely tight. Here it is again. Not much doubting that. The short one comes across towards Hollow. Takes it low down.
Still at centre wing. Long, slow handball to Peckett. Again, a long handball. Keogh able to turn around onto his left. Normally a penetrating kick, goes long. Lows the target. Will he get that fast? Stewie had a good touch of it. couldn't quite get over the top of it. Everett tried to kick it off the ground. Rock's hands were good to Smith to Laidley. Some excellent defensive play by North. Laidley's kick's a beauty. Measured it perfectly to King, who runs laterally to give himself some room and then puts it down Longmire's throat. That's good football, North Melbourne from the back pocket. Untouched by the Saints as he goes in short. Longmire to Blakey, and Blakey's within range. Likes to bomb long goals on the run. Can do it from a standing start here. They must be happy with what they got out of Blakey after coming from Fitzroy, North Melbourne. Very mature footballer. Appears to play within some limitations, but is highly effective. He's played a lot of footy now, and kicks from 50. Times it very, very well, and just missing. So Blakey, long kick. So behind to North, and then up to 4-4 as we take a look at the North Melbourne bench again. With 3 goals in front of 1-4. Down to Chenko, one of the players with the long blonde hair wanting to come on. So 28-10 in this first semi-final.
Pickett kicks in, goes towards the outer side. The target is Everett. Drop the mark. Nichols now back to his own goal. Slaps it out. King over the ball. Well done by Devonport in a tight situation. Throws it on the boot. Coughlin's up in front, almost the mark. It falls behind. Well done there by Reynolds to slap it out. Coughlin comes again though. Inside the centre square. Boots well inside the 50. O'Brien leads back in the race. O'Brien, interesting hand pass. Across the line, I thought. No call from the boundary umpire. Comes back to O'Brien. Hard against the line. Roberts a half chance. Did he mark it low down? Yes, he did. He had to stretch for that one. You can see the bicycle pants bulging. Here's Laidley. Short one is on. Schwass takes it. He's away. He's at left half back. Decides to run it out. Has the bounce. Kicks to the wing. Precision. Finds Carey. That will encourage you to be precise. Carey goes down towards half forward. In front, Longmire. Shanahan got a fist on it. Spills to Anderson. He was lucky there. He'd lost the ball, but he was pushed in the back.
10th possession for Anderson. Former premiership player at Hawthorn. 15 games last year for the Saints. Scholl after good take. State of Origin player last year to Schwass, who won the best and fairest at North Melbourne last year. Out wide, Longmire tried to ride it, couldn't. Wakeland, Longmire got into his back. Free kick, Wakeland, who's done very well tonight.
Well, I think Wakeland, Darryl Wakeland there should have gone for the tackle, went for the big bump. But he did affect the turnover, so he's done his job.
Keogh takes it out centre wing, looking for Lowe. Good kick. Lowe in the front. Nifty handball. Jones so much like Harvey when he moves. To Grant. Grant not such a good kick. He was looking for O'Brien. Smith gets back, gets a good bounce. Normally does pretty well with his possessions. Rock. That's confidence. Cross the face. Gets to Laidley. Laidley just steadies it up. Goes out wide. Stevens the target.
Devonport in close attendance. This is King. Devonport knocked it away. Stevens on the assist. Drives it towards midfield. Blakey almost the mark. Winmar a half chance. Armstrong took it away. Nichols alongside the centre circle to half forward Longmire. Presenting problems, but he's pushing a long way up the ground. It's a vacant goal square. He goes long down towards Carey. And so often we see that Carey getting in behind Longmire. It's obviously something they work on. Longmire prepared to push up the ground, and the moment he does that, that's the signal for this man to go deep.
Yes, and when you consider that Corey McKernan can come into this forward line and act as the centre half forward to allow Carey to remain closer to goal, makes you shudder.
So Wayne Carey, who booted 7 against Essendon in game 10. 4 of them came in the first half, going at his first right here to extend the lead. Kicks from about 30. A study in concentration, and it's good.
Matthew Armstrong just getting away from Dean Anderson there for a split second. He's got great hands, Matthew Armstrong, and he is going to be so valuable to North Melbourne, feeding it off to their other runners. These two know where each other are. It was almost as if Longmire instinctively knew that Carey would be there.
Carey's first goal. North stretch it out to 5-4 to 1-4. 34 to 10. Ashenko Everett went very early. Come in the air. Burke gets a scrambled kick away. It's touch play on. Winmar, well played. Read it perfectly, but Schwass onto it. Has to concede some ground. Jones keeps it in.
That's poor play from Jones.
Free kick going to Kitchen, who's just come on.
Every young player who's come through the VSFL competition would know and have been instructed 100 times that in that position, you just dribble the ball over the boundary line, play the percentages.
Kitchen trying to send it, doesn't time it very well, gives it up to King, to Rock. Rock takes on Everett. A bit like David and Goliath there, where David obviously has an advantage. To Smith at half-back, to centre wing. Carey. Lapham was against the flow. Scott. Well played by young Lapham. She's like a little beanstalk, isn't he? Wouldn't weigh much, Lapham, but tall and stringy. Missed by Lowe. Martin Tamble. Scholl goes back, gets to Smith. Clever kick. Saw Roberts. Got it to him. Roberts gets around. A bounce. Zilla and Bashut, but Roberts has got time to get the ball to half forward. St Kilda with numbers. Davenport at the back. Lots of touches. Peckett takes Stevens on. Very confident Peckett when he gets a footy. Goes to Everett. Everett with a chance here.
Down towards half forward. Pulls it back towards the middle. That's beautiful disposal. O'Brien's got it in the true centre half forward position. The man on the mark is standing just behind the 50.
And also good play from Craig O'Brien, because he knew the deficiencies of his teammate. He realises he hasn't got a right foot, so he led up the middle of the ground, thinking that that's where he'd have to finish, and he got it.
Going for his second. It's off target. Hit the goal umpire. And behind. So the margin, 23 points. Anthony Rock to himself. He's in the back pocket. Sends play towards the outer side, half-back flank. Scholl's in front, almost got a free. This is Burke, well played. Keogh, centering kick. Ashenko with the run low in front, almost pushed in the back. Martin on his knees. Ashenko, a resolute defender so far in this game. Loose ball across the goal face. This is Reynolds with some time. Hugs the boundary line with the kick, but Winmar gets back first and claims the mark. Nicky Winmar, about 75 metres from goal. His centering kick. Keogh juggled attempt, showed a lot of courage, and the mark is paid. Good enough too. Rod Keogh, little chip pass. Anderson has to wait. Reynolds did well. Arrived at full tilt. Everett, if you don't mind, he has got a right foot. Well, sort of. It's a behind.
Well, interesting one there with Dean Anderson. You said that he had to wait. In fact, I thought he elected to wait, and he could have attacked the football. And on every occasion, given the opportunity, you should run at that ball, because it would have taken Keenan Reynolds' spoil out of the play.
Seven shots to 9, but north of the handy break. Smith, long, Carey the target, launches himself, takes the mark. The comeback. Carey at half-back. Kicked the only goal in this term so far. Everett has been busy in this quarter. So's Keogh. Well done, Keogh. To Burke. Lappin needs a bit of luck. Well played. Good balance. Now must deliver, and does. To Kitchen.
Impressive start by
Coughlin, I should say. Sorry, Jared. Coughlin in short. Low. Handball by Pekin. Goal surely. It is. Well done. Anderson. Well, the Saints are still very much in the picture at 2-6 to 5-4.
There's Pekin on screen. Stewie Lowe making the dummy lead, and all that did was open up the forward line. Eventually, pretty poor kick, pretty hard for Big Stewie to drop down there, but Dean Anderson, the fortunate one, and affects the boomerang check side. Call it what you will.
Margin 16 points, just over 10 minutes till half-time. Interesting affair, this one. Saints getting plenty of the ball. Mashenko, who's been good. Keogh, who's been terrific in this term, comes away from the middle. Probing kick inside the 50, must be a free. Lowe was mugged by Martin. Chance to score from just inside the 50.
And you've never seen a more innocent face, but clearly on the replay there, Michael Martin interfered with Stewie Lowe.
As we said earlier, got 9 against the Dockers. Brent Allison looks on. Worked up a sweat. Held to 2 against the Blues. Stewie Lowe. Important kick, this one. This could pull it back to 10 points midway through the term. Just inside the 50. Lets it go. It's good.
Another look at the free kick. Stuart Lowe taking the front position, which drew the free kick, and his goal kicking, whilst it was probably not all that great when he was a younger AFL player, his technique is certainly far better now.
Getting plenty out of the middle as Allison sits on. Burks had 9 touches, Devonport 11, Anderson 11, Keogh 8. Talking about the Saints midfielders, 3-6 to 5-4. Gaps right down to 10 points. Mashenko, Anderson went off the ground. Effective. Coughlin just spent it before he had it. Oh, brilliant win mark. Superb to Anderson, to the goal square. Here's a chance. O'Brien held on to. Doesn't get a free kick. Wants one and might have deemed himself a bit unlucky. Cannot believe it. Well played, Winmar. He's a magician at times, isn't he?
Well, that was a great handball.
Smith, who might have been fortunate, he was all over O'Brien. Goes to Shoal. Gee, another Saints goal here. And this big St.Kilda crowd would really roar them on. Lapham runs it out. Free kick to the Saints. Throw in. My mistake there. Effort goes with Ashenko. Now King. Hurried kick. Bouncing ball. Gains about 25 metres. Out of play at centre wing.
We saw Brett Ellison on the bench not so long ago, and that's a great victory there for David Grant. Initially, when they lined up on each other, I thought that perhaps Ellison would be too quick, but Grant has effectively seen him off the ground. Well done to him.
Armstrong eventually won it down. Nichols close to the line. Cross, I thought. That's the decision, holding the ball.
Good. It's interesting when a side gets a run on, somehow the umpires also get involved.
Lappin's kick not particularly good. Scholl heads for the boundary line. Nice decoy. Now he kicks. This is Campbell on his chest. Scott close to the line. Kicks down towards half forward. Carey's in front. Stevens did brilliantly. He's away, Stevens, about 75 metres from goal. He went too far, said the umpire. You're right, Jerry. They're caught up in the emotion at the present time. Stevens went for a gallop and he was pinged by the umpire.
Alex Ashenko coming off. Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't there. It's just that those 50-50 ones often appear to go to the side that the crowd is most cheering for.
All comes back to a sense of theatre. Here's Devonport towards the middle. Everett, he's been handy, wants to go. Here's confidence on the rise. Look at the pass. Low in front. It won't be 50. The umpire goes across and has a word to Michael Martin. Pekin arrives. Has his say, and now Winmar, well, that was friendly.
That's one of the hardest positions to take him, Mark. On the burst, out in front, hands straight at the ball.
Scott got one hand to the ball. This is Coughlin. Off one step. Will it bounce through? It will! Well, it's all the Saints now. Youth and enthusiasm sparking that scoreline. 4-7-5-4.
This is a great example when we see this kick of what a ball tends to do. It bounces the opposite way to which it spins. Now just have a look at that.
Saints have kicked the last 3 goals. They've stormed up to within 3 points. 4-7, 5-4, poor bounce. North take advantage of it. Oh, crashing through was King, collected his own man. Nichols on the ground. Schwass, who's been pretty quiet. King attacked it, kept his eyes on it, played it very well to Laidley. North just need a steadier here. They haven't had up forward very much. Burt getting back, really should have taken it in the end. Longmire, bouncing ball, still in play. Armstrong, terrific start, then quiet. Longmire sold it.
Oh.
Not so good. Peakin going up and down in the one spot, but played it well to Anderson, who's had a ton of touches. Centre wing. On the ground. Kitchen. Hip and shoulder by Schwass. Grant over the top. Saints hold it up. Ball up. 4 goals, 7 St Kilda, 5 goals for North Melbourne. Young Kitchen. Dennis Pagan, who saw his team off to a flying start, sees them being challenged strongly. Schwass getting into the action now. Another kick at half forward. Burke is playing at the back. Well done. Very well done to Anderson at centre wing. Anderson to half forward. Low the target. Oh, brilliant. Was off. Then goes to ground. O'Brien and Winmark, can they get into the picture? They can't. Not a good kick by Lowe. He's off balance. King able to get into the slot. Fight going on. A wrestle going on between O'Brien and Scott. It might be 50 metres against O'Brien, I think, here, and against St Kilda.
Well, O'Brien was a little bit unlucky because he made his dash for the lead at the same time as Stuart Lowe slipped to the ground.
He's also bleeding from the nose, O'Brien. Whether or not he, or just from the mouth, he'll have to come off and on, I'm not sure. Under the blood roar. Here's King now at about 70 metres. Emergency umpires on the ground. So a lot happening just at the moment. Remembering that North lead by 3 points with 6 minutes remaining in the opening half. Now King. So the umpire talking to Craig O'Brien, Chris Mitchell. He's asking him to go off under the blood rule.
I think he threatened to report him if he didn't go.
And so O'Brien off and Matthews to come on. Looks reasonably superficial, the cut. You wouldn't think it'd take a long time to stitch up or get set.
Well, the good thing for St Kilda is that Matthews isn't foreign to playing a full forward. In fact, he played there last year for Pauline Templestowe in the amateurs.
Kicked a couple, didn't he, Jared, in that last quarter when it was all happening for the Saints.
Knows where the goals are, certainly.
Now Matthews in position, so we're set to go. King goes on a lead, looking for Longmire, worked under the ball. In the pocket, Roberts takes his man on very well. He's going to give a handball, then goes for goal, and misses. Behind. So Roberts, who had a shot for goal on the siren in the opening term and didn't make the distance, is 0 for 2. Peckett to bring it in at 5-5 to 4-7.
Some indecision. Now Peckett goes very short to the pocket. Anderson, Keogh, on his own defensive 50, goes around the other side. Wakeland up in front, took it, gets the hand pass away. Lappin confronted, smothered off the boot by King. Well played. King goes Lappin, return the favour. Campbell left it behind. Coughlin picked it up brilliantly for a man of that size. Looping hand pass out of bounds.
Free kick.
It's a free kick, is it? To whom? Peakin. Don't know why. Not going to push in the back.
Twice in 2 games now. Peakin has come off the ground and gone to the forward line. Perhaps his days in defence numbered.
Peakin down towards half forward. In from the side, Capuano. Good grab. Capuano plays on to Stevens. Takes one step, untidy looking kick across the ground. It pitches just inside the centre square. Smith wanted that ball most. He peeled off, he ran hard. Kicks inside the 50, too much carry for Longmire. Loose ball behind, Roberts a half chance. Peckett dives on top of it. Roberts took it off him, it spills to Scott. And a whistle when Scott was on his bike.
Number 56, Craig O'Brien. And Brett Allison coming on at the same time. Centre half forward. Lappin gets it after the handball by Keogh. Jones ended up making a bit of a meal of it. Lappin. Pressure from North defenders.
Line. Cut it out! Cut it out!
Here the umpires mic'd here in the Ansett Australia Cup.
Nelson coming on for Anthony Stevens, who gave a rap to at the start of the game. He is very, very consistent and a very good player for North Melbourne, but just not getting near the ball tonight. Damon Shaw has done a pretty good job on it.
Armstrong also getting ready to Gerard to come back on. He too was prominent early in that North Melbourne first quarter surge. Just a quiet moment at 3.5 minutes remaining in the opening half. Clarkson on the ground with Anderson.
Clarkson, in fact, has come onto the ground to pick up Dean Anderson, which is really turning around the tables.
Roberts in the front spot, got his bottom out, kept hollow away. Keogh threads his way very well. Grant, hurry kick, didn't get far enough. Here's King, can take a bounce, can take a run and take a pop shot at goal. Goes for it, pops it up, Carey sets himself. It was a beautiful mark, wasn't it, by Carey? One out, set himself. Lean back, safe hands, held it.
Well, doing the right thing here is Wakeland, but just too strong and a little bit too experienced on that occasion. Carey picked up the flight of the ball a little bit better than his opponent. He had the key spot, despite being behind.
Very special mark by Carey. So he's got North Melbourne's 2 goals. In this second term, it's 6-5 to 4-7.
Just have another look at this grab. Great positioning as Damon Shaw continues to go with Anthony Stevens. First to the bench, now back onto the ground. King just assesses the situation. He knows that Carey's behind. He puts it up high, and that's kicking it to his team's advantage. Great kick into their advantage.
So Carey's got 2 goals and the margin is out to 10 points. Everett under the ball very early, 2 in the air. Capuano got a fist on it. Keogh dives on top of it, spills wide of the pack now. Schwass nicely out of trouble, back to Roberts. Roberts towards half forward. Wakeland and Carey loose behind that pair, taken by Longmire to Carey. Armstrong, well done by Winmar. Back it comes to Carey, a centering kick and a good one too. Clarkson's got it right on the 50. Carey 6 marks tonight. Short pass comes across and the mark is held by Rock directly in front and about 35 metres out. Wayne Carey talking about marks, 17 against Hawthorn, round 3 last season. And that was the best individual performance of the season in terms of marks. That's not used to anyone. Great aerialist, exemplified by that last mark in his second goal. But now this is Anthony Rock directly in front to stretch the lead to 16 points. It's off to the right. It's 11 points.
Yeah, but had it been successful, perhaps it could have been written down to the tactics of Dennis Pagan. In the space of a couple of minutes, he had Stevens, Nichols, Armstrong all interchanging on the bench. And just at that stage, St.Kilda just appeared to lose their on-ball players, which allowed Rock to bob up.
Peckett wide, gets to Anderson. It's had 10 kicks and 6 handballs, Anderson to half-time. Laidley, well done at the back, very well done. To Rock, inside, Schwass, onto the left. Longmire the target, good kick, good mark. Another very good build-up by North Melbourne, who seem to have regained their composure in the last 5 minutes.
It's all about knowing the strengths of your players, which is something that North Melbourne have more of than St Kilda, obviously, with the new players in the St Kilda side. Longmire knew exactly that Swass had turned onto his left foot, and he ran into the space available.
5 times the leading goal kicker at the club. Coleman medalist when he kicked 98 goals in a season. And goes from about 45 metres just across the face. So the Saints, I think, will be pretty happy that Rock and Longmire both missed in the last minute. And if they can keep it to this at half-time, I think they'll be well pleased at 6-7 to 4-7. So Longmire with one booming goal in the opening quarter. Let's kick 1-1. Pickett to bring it back in.
Keogh just came off the ground inside the last minute of the half. The ball on the outer side. King was up to fist it down. This is Allison. Still Allison. The hand pass very indecisive. Diving on top of it, Burke with courage. Still they battle after it, and eventually there'll be a whistle.
It's an area that perhaps Stan Els may talk about, the kick-outs for St Kilda, because certainly they're not doing it anywhere near as well as North Melbourne.
No, they haven't been convincing. Just making the point, Keogh off the ground to 11 possessions in this term. This is Lappin. Comes away from defence, back towards his own defensive 50. Free kick in front to Winmar. Blakey reaching over the top unfairly. So Nicky Winmar on his own half-back line. In his 8th season with the Saints, won't get to kick it. It's half-time. And St Kilda certainly showing plenty, but North Melbourne steadying late in that term, and they lead 6-7 to 4-7. Respective full forwards. Stewie Lowe has got 1 goal, and we saw Longmire before him likewise, just the goal to half-time. There's John Longmire. So at half-time it's been an interesting game, this one, and the spoils will be a place in the grand final.
So at half-time, North Melbourne by 12 points. There's 6-7 to St Kilda 4-7. Start of the second half of this first semi-final of the Ansett Australia Cup. North Melbourne out by 2 goals. It's a terrific first half. Everett goes with the Schenko. They both had their moments in the opening half. Lappin after it. Quick kick by Stevens. Play on court. Allison. This is his first kick for the match, Allison. Spent a fair bit of the time on the interchange to Scott, who started very well and then died out. Still with Scott. Well played, Pickett. Just trapped it away from him. Winmar with his exquisite skills. So exciting to watch. Pickett, who's growing in stature, to Pekin. Pekin with a wobbly kick, not a very good one, but gets to half-back. Anderson in the front spot. Laidley look for a free kick, and we'll get one in the end. Just up from centre wing. I know been a fair bit to do with him, Dennis, lately when he started in Western Australia. He goes towards centre half forward. Winmar got to the front. Wakeland. Zilla followed it up. Allison attacked it. Off hands. Coughlin. Just missed the body, but Zilla able to. Almost breaks the Reynolds tackle, then actually threw it away. Grant off 1 foot, gets a bit of distance, low at the back, Asheko the front. Well read by Jones. Jones goes for goal from 40. Oh, he's a good finisher, but just hitting the post. Well, they've been stiff. Lowe's hit the post, Jones has hit the post, and the Saints get within 13 points at 4-8 to 6-7.
I thought Aussie Jones could have just kept running a little bit there, as we see Campbell just having a bit of a tricycle there. Just keeping the legs moving.
See, the game has changed, isn't it? When you see the interchange, player on a bike getting ready.
Smith to Scholl, back to Smith. He runs up towards half-back. Oh, gives it away directly to Jones. Terrible kick coming out. Jones in 2 minds. Centres the ball to Devonport. But first half perhaps should have gone by hand, but now settles on a kick. Devonport from about 80 metres out. The centering kick in front. Strong mark is held by Clarkson, the smallest man there. Great judgment to Scholl from his own defensive 50 back to midfield. And the mark is held by Grant. So good overhead. David Grant in the middle. Comes out wide. Getting back is Rock. Got a hand to it. In the circumstances, that was enough. A couple of feisty customers there. Rock and Burke on a collision course. Schwass can't find it. Settles for that. Sockers it out of bounds. It was down there somewhere. Hear him muttering. Did you ever have one of those days?
Once again, we saw Lappin just waiting for the football rather than attacking it, allowing Rock to come in and affect the spoil.
Blakey over the top of Winmar. Peckett. Hollow. Missed Devonport's free kick to Allison. No. Laidley caught. Clarkson. Good kick. Stevens on his wrong side, but measured it very well, and then Roberts took a fingertipper, then centres it. Chance for Everett to cut across. Important. He did it well. It's been pretty impressive tonight, Everett. Gets to Devonport. He's had lots of kicks. This is number 12. Centre half forward, low. Here's one player Harvey mentioned in the half-time. To Zilla. Goes for goal, Jones. Oh, he's a good Colt. A very good Colt, that Aussie Jones. Don't you just love him, Jared, that Jones? 5'8" to 6'7".
Well, I tell you what, he's really given St Kilda supporters around the country a huge lift. Not just Jones, but also his mate Smith, who kicked the winning goal last week, and unfortunately for him, didn't quite make the starting lineup tonight. But nothing better to lift a side that's on the bottom of the ladder than the emergence of a couple of potential stars.
Aussie Jones, this wave of enthusiasm and youth, giving the Saints right in this. Everett up very high, got it down. Keogh got it across towards Winmar, who tried to work it forward, ran into a dead end. Shaw feeds it back. Peckett gets it back to Winmar. Winmar forced to kick with the outside of the right boot. As a result, it comes directly across the ground. It trickles towards the boundary. Everett swoops on it, if you don't mind, and runs away. Kicks it down towards half forward. In front is Reynolds from behind. Coughlin should be paid to Reynolds. It will be. He was the man in front. Kenan Reynolds comes out wide towards the wing. They've got the numbers out here, the Saints, but not required on the ground. Peckett came from behind, claimed it. Burke over the top. The helmets combine. This is Shaw inside the 50. O'Brien, that's unfortunate. Off the boot, out of bounds on the full. Ross Smith will take it in the back pocket. So Smith towards half-back. Hollow, a big leap. Didn't control it. Found it on the ground. Coughlin at close quarters. Anderson only sold a teammate there. Keogh into trouble. It spills towards the boundary line. It's out of bounds and will be thrown in.
The story of youth for St Kilda is a bit like a Demtel. There's still more. Evidently, they've got another young player, Tony Brown, who's reputedly the best of the lot of them. Captain the country Victorian Teal Cup squad last year.
Zilla, Winmar off the ground. Round the body. And Roberts takes a mark. Our statistician, Kevin O'Brien, tells me that North have kicked just 2 goals since the 8-minute mark of the opening term. They had 4 goals in the first 8 minutes. And Wayne Carey has kicked both of them. One of them from an outstanding mark. But here's his opponent, Darryl Waitman, who's done pretty well from centre wing. Carey had 6, 6 and 6 in the first half. Lowe's free kick. Saints within 5 points here. So the Saints have kicked 5 out of the last 7 goals in this match. Low centering kick. Ashenko gets in. He's done very well, Ashenko, in that area. To Armstrong. Great start, then quiet in the second term. Bangs it out wide. Longmire right up from full forward. Blakey saw his man. It was King. Sidestep was good. King with some room now. Kicks it towards 60 metres. Marked by Carey, a good one. There's a booming kick. Goes long. Allison gets set. Oh, Peckett's a good player, isn't he? He's got some hope, you reckon, if he keeps playing as well as he is, forcing his way into the elite, and that's the State of Origin contest. He's a very good mover. Burke at half-back to centre wing. Shaw. Stevens recovered well after going to ground. And then Shaw with a little one out of play. So the man-on-man contests are very even at the moment. Shaw has suffered a lot from concussion. He's been concussed on 3 or 4 occasions over the last couple of years, going to the helmet. Everett gets sent with Ashenko.
And from behind, Coughlin knocks it down. Armstrong going nowhere to Reynolds. Quick kick down towards half forward. Hollow got an unkind bounce. Roberts played it well. Over the top, Scott to Rock. Rock confronted. Pops it over to Carey. Carey runs inside the 50 to 30, goes along the ground, clever, skids it through. His third goal, and North move away now to lead by 11 points.
Well done to Anthony Rock, who just loses his man Peckett for a split second. You saw that Peckett going for the ball, which allowed Rock to backpedal. And just have a look at this. This is a sprint. Peckett thinks he can take on Carey, but that's his great strength. He's as mobile as a rover.
3 goals to Carey. He's kicked North Melbourne's last 3 goals. It's 7-7-5-8. 11 points of difference. Free kick out of the centre going to the Saints. To Everett. Just 20 years of age. Big men take a long time. He's very promising. Low on the full stretch. Widmar to mop up. Still Widmar at 60 metres. Gets good distance. O'Brien outnumbered. Has 2 against him. Goes to ground. Does pretty well. Keeps the ball out. Coughlin round the body. Misses. Really should have gone.
Great effort there by Craig O'Brien, and we also saw Stuart Lowe drop a chest mark. I think that's the one occasion where you probably should go to ground in football, when just that extra bit of stretch means that you're not going to control the ball in a marking situation.
Schwartz to bring her back in. 7-7-5-9.
Members side with a kick. Martin was up, got a hand to it, crashing through Armstrong. Hollow, close to the line. Interesting hand pass. Got it back infield by about 5 metres. Stevens running out of space, and across the line it goes. Anthony Stevens, one of 7 North players to play in every game last season, along with Smith, Laidley, Scholl, Schwartz, Blakey and Ashenko. Ashenko's in the action there. It cleared him though. Armstrong raked it in, got the hand pass of about 1 metre away. Burke went nowhere. This is Anderson, 55 metres out, and rebounded back to him. Going up one hand was Rock, deflected it down to O'Brien. O'Brien pulls it back across the goal face. Laidley heads for the boundary line. Wholehearted footballer, and that will do it. Boundary throw in, right full forward for the Saints. One would assume a North supporter, although both sets of supporters a bit to smile about tonight. Terrific game this one. Lowe's in front, falls behind as Smith. Armstrong comes away, boots it towards midfield. Big leap from behind. What a mark, Lappin. Terrific effort by the youngster.
Squares it. Gee, terrific mark. Gets to Peckett. All plays on and caught. Now Hollow. Still with Hollow. Don't want to turn this one over, the Saints. They've done so well to get within a couple of kicks. Wakeland wobbles one in towards Lowe. Went to ground. Zilla. Devonport. Still Devonport. Takes a long time. Gets his kick away, given the advantage. Ashenko at the back, goes to ground. Handball by Clarkson to Rock. Rock out wide. He's looking for his man Blakey. Gets him. Widmar very late. Puts him on the ground.
St Kilda really are suffering for the lack of another tall player in the forward line. Stuart Lowe has been forced to lead up the ground, which leaves Craig O'Brien in the goal square. And already twice in this quarter I've seen him back into packs and nearly be killed.
Blakey is the worse for wear after that. Rock takes the kick for him. Well, on that point, Jared Thornborough missed a couple of marks early and they took him off, and he's on the interchange, who would be their tall option at centre-half forward. Keenan Reynolds at centre wing. One of 3 players recruited with a lot of experience this year. Scott Armstrong Reynolds from different clubs. Gets towards Carey, just worked Wakeland under the ball, but Wakeland held his ground pretty well. Scott's handball on the up. Kick away by Shanahan. Shaw went to ground. Carey well played to Clarkson, to Schwartz, and Schwartz goes for goal and misses with a behind. But again, Carey making something out of not a lot there to give North Melbourne some momentum. 7-8 to 5-9.
So back to 11 points. Peckett, very impressive. A short pass in. Devonport told to go by a teammate alongside. It was Grant who told him, and now Grant, the beneficiary, gets the hand pass and boots it down towards the wing. Jones in front, Scholl fisting away. Laidley tries to toss it back in the Scholl direction. Matthews, who's got some toe, is away. Reynolds is after him. Still Matthews, look at that, on all fours. Slaps it across towards Lowe. Now he's on the deck. Back it comes to Matthews at close quarters to Pekin. Off to Devonport, about 65 metres from goal. Despairing lunge by Laidley to no avail. Devonport goes to the 50, goes for home, it bounces through. Goal to the Saints.
And perhaps the fairy tale has got another chapter to be written, because who would have thought that St Kilda could be even close to North Melbourne at this stage. Matthews creating it. It's just pace. I'm not sure about Craig Devonport. He's ended up kicking goal of the night, but continually wants to beat a player.
The Saints within a kick again at 6-9 to 7-8. Devonport's long bomb. Pickett. Well done by Allison to cut off Devonport that time. To Laidley. North Melbourne being challenged. They started this match on the National Sportsbook at 8-1 on favourites. Interchange coming up for North Melbourne. Devonport getting the free after the ball was out on the fall. Nichols coming on for King. That's for North Melbourne. Low was in the air forever. Martin gets a free kick.
He's an interesting player, Craig Devonport. He's just about kicked goal of the night on that occasion. As you see this free coming, well, looked like he was going for the ball, but free kick given. But Devonport continually wants to beat a man, which just gives you that extra opportunity to drag him down.
Everett got to the front. Winmar tackled Allison. Winmar, good contest. Winmar was able to keep it in. Hold it up. Tremendous spirit surrounding the St Kilda surge. They were 7 goals behind Carlton last week, and they were 4 goals, as their captain looks on, Danny Frawley, 4 goals behind North Melbourne in 8 minutes tonight. As the replay showed, North were a bit lucky to get 2 goals out of 1 in the first half minute. Ashenko, Schwass with pace. Hasn't had a lot of stats tonight. Working his way into the game. Got a high tackle as he got rid of it. Allison centering ball, good kick in the circumstances. Gave his high-flying forwards a chance. Well done, Peckett to Lapham, just 19 years of age. Took a specky about 5 minutes ago. Roberts worked his opponent underneath it. Ashenko's handball, hollow trapped it, had to hold it in, it was important. Puts a good tackle on Clarkson. Everett gets it back, doesn't get an effective one. Armstrong tackled. Gee, the Saints doing all right. Anderson, keep a cool head here. Does. Left-hand handball to Devonport. To Burke on the run. Burke in the centre square. Looks to Low. Low off balance. O'Brien tackles Smith. Hangs on. Smith gets a free kick at centre half back.
The gang tackling of St Kilda midfield is just outstanding. Keeping them in the game.
Exciting footy that. This is Armstrong on the outer side. Little chip pass to the wing. Schwass has it. Wants to go and does. Sweeping hand pass inside. Danilchenko. Awkward half volley. Everett put the body in. Over the top Anderson. Attempted to throw it on the boot. Everett does the next best thing and thumps it forward. Nichols on his knees. Devonport slides in. In goes Winmar. No love lost there. Or is there? And there'll be a bounce. Tough stuff now. A place in the grand final at stake. Robert Scott in the dugout. The attacking side of right centre wing for the Saints. The bounce. Scholl picks it up. Gains about 40 metres with a kick. Allison is first back. Well done. Stevens on the burst. About 60 metres from goal. Reynolds now leads back. The boundary line is too close. And a throw in. Right full forward for North.
King getting ready to come back on for North Melbourne. It's been off for about 5 minutes. Is replaced by Nichols. Same number of scoring shots. 5 points the difference. Robertson hollow. Carey's kicked the only 3 goals for North Melbourne since the 8-minute mark. Has another shot. And just misses that time behind. So 3-1 to one of the kings of the game, Carey.
Longmire's moved out to centre half forward. North Melbourne usually play the 3 tall forwards. They've shifted Keenan Reynolds up. They've also got Roberts on the forward line. He's very mobile. Perhaps he doesn't count. He's about to be interchanged.
I know you and I have called 2 games, Jared, in this I nearly made a mistake. Ansett Australia Cup, and they've both been 1-point matches. Collingwood and Footscray, St Kilda and Carlton, and we've got another thriller here tonight. Zilla comes away from half-back. to centre wing. Clarkson went to ground.
Oh, it's a great interception there by Stuart Lowe. It was terrific work. He ran out from full forward, just got the hand in. He's given away a free kick. But it exemplified the way that St Kilda have just dragged down a more talented side.
Rock through the centre, high ball. Longmire gets set. Couple against him. Grant, well played, had a feel for Pecker, but he just went without it. Damon Shaw getting a few touches. Wobbles it to Lowe at centre wing.
Still Low, brilliantly played. He's going to get a free kick. Advantage is paid. Burt close to the line. Martin and Lowe at it. Danilchenko, meantime, gets back and takes the mark. Lowe was fearless as he came to that ball. Watch it again. That's terrific stuff. Don't know what the problem was after that. Lowe goes up in front, over the top, Wakeland. Great grab. Swapped by Fremantle. As part of a deal that sent Lockett to Sydney and Waters to Fremantle. Wakeland boots it down to half forward. That's been an absorbing duel. He and Carey tonight. Rinmar slapped it away from Ashenko. Pekin was in there. Upended was Nichols. Socket away from Laidley by his teammate Scholl. Scholl goes again. He's claimed by Pekin. Danilchenko knocks it out. In goes Armstrong. Everett's there. Laidley over the ball as well. Nichols crawls away. Son of a gun. And we'll have a bounce about 60 metres out. That hurts.
Coughlin on for Matthews, who ran across the ball a moment ago with great courage to hold it there. Shaw could have got a free kick there, surely. His head taken off. It's Nathan Burke with the red helmet, who's played every game in the last 4 seasons for the Saints. One of best and fairest of the club.
And having a beauty tonight. Bit quiet last week, but one of St Kilda's best tonight.
Davenport on the end of it. Schwass all over him. No free kick. Jones went to ground. Laidley gets back to mop up. Pekin almost robbed it. Well played by Burke. Got a kick out of nowhere. Goes back to Zilla. Zilla goes for goal. He's a good finisher. The Saints are coming home strongly. I like Zilla. He doesn't get a lot of touches, but when he does, they're effective. It's all square at Waverley Park in the first semi-final.
And St Kilda just continue to create goals out of nothing by sheer desperation, persistence, the qualities that won them the game against Carlton. And you're right, Bruce, Zilla is a talent.
That's our scoreline. 5 minutes out from three-quarter time. Centre breaks pretty even. 8-6. Favouring the Saints. This is important right here. Everett battles with Ashenko. Shaw was in there. Everett tried to feed it out. Blakey knocked it down. Sliding in there was Coughlin. Slapped away by Danilchenko. The wizardry of Winmar. Brilliantly done. Got it out to Shaw. Floats it about 20 metres. Zilla waits in front. It was fisted away down there. Diving on top of it. 3 players, one of whom is King, and will have a bounce about 60 metres from goal. Hagan on the phone. Nichols off the ground.
Damon Shaw also interchanging for Rod Keogh. Shaw done a pretty good job getting some fresh legs out there, the Saints.
Ashenko nicely down to Stevens, who boots it to midfield. Over the top, Lappin. Here's a Spring Hill Jack. Sliding in there was Grant. With him is Armstrong. And they tie it up once more. The stakes are high. It seems Reynolds is coming off the ground. Not as a result of that call. We saw Alves on the phone. Keenan Reynolds will come off. Robert Scott will come on. Meantime, a juggling attempt there by Ashenko. And another whistle. No concessions being made by players of either side now. They're playing for keeps.
Scott coming onto the ground has just been put out there to unbalance St Kilda. He's gone on to Chris Hollow, who I guess you'd describe as lumbering in comparison to Robert Scott.
Now Mark Roberts getting set to come on, so Dennis Pagan will bring 3 changes within about 1 minute. Craig Scholes, quick kick to the goal square. Lappin.
Oh, he's a good player.
He's got balance, hasn't he? He'll get a free kick.
Well, his cousin Nigel, who played for the Brisbane Bears, got a lot of accolades last year, and rightly so, but this fellow on his game tonight has certainly got plenty of ability also.
Gee, Burt makes a rare error looking for Winmar, gives it up to Blakey, who's at 60 metres. Normally a long kick goes to the pocket. Carey. Well, he's got about an 80% chance, you'd reckon, one out. And he's been the difference at the moment. There's no difference on the scoreboard, I know, but he's been the difference between North Melbourne being overrun and North Melbourne being level with St Kilda.
Unfortunately, in that situation, it's happened a couple of times tonight. Daryl Wakeland really is relying upon somebody to come over the top and just lend a bit of assistance.
There's the angle for Carey. He's kicked the 3 goals that North have kicked since early in the first quarter. Four to Carey. And it's becoming a one-man band up forward for North Melbourne since the early stages of this match. They lead by a goal, 8-9 to 7-9.
Well, pretty straightforward shot at goal, but whilst the scoreboard says that Wayne Carey's done his job, so too is Daryl Wakeland, I would think, in the eyes of most St Kilda supporters.
Approaching three-quarter time. Here's Trent Nichols. Let's go down to Dipper.
Thanks very much, DC. Looks like a freeway down here at the interchange bench. Trent Nichols is off the ground with a sprained left ankle and probably won't come back on the ground.
Danilchenko gets it to Laidley, who boots it out wide. Stevens leads in the race, but the boundary line is too close. It will be thrown in.
Important here for St Kilda, who conceded a couple of shots in the last couple of minutes before half-time, but didn't pay the penalty, that they don't do the same thing before three-quarter time.
Over the top, Roberts, almost clean possession. Missed the ball. Anderson has got company. So too Rock. Roberts comes again. And the bounce right on the wing. So it's North by 6 points. Schenko and Everett, both of them have done well for their respective sides. Now the umpire unhappy with all of that. Wanted a clean break. Stand under the ball. Schenko, the backhander. Schwass went to ground. Blakey, who's worked hard throughout. The little chip pass. Releases Stevens forward of the wing. High kick inside the 50. Surely Lappin must get a free. Held without it in front. That's the place to be. Most impressive. Plays on quickly. Wakeland comes away. Runs up towards half-back. Good-looking kick towards the wing. Schenko tried to punch away, but Everett did brilliantly. Jones takes them on in the grasp. The hand pass untidy. Brilliant pick up there by Schwass. The kick was smothered. Jones gets his second chance to make amends. Gives it away. Schenko untidy. Danilchenko now taken by Roberts. Here's Martin.
Campbell at about 70. Poor kick. Important ball now with a minute remaining in this third quarter. The Saints have got to hold it up. Trailing by a goal. North the overwhelming favourites going in. In fact, they're odds on to win the final of the Ansett Cup. Scott worked it out. Saints have got numbers. Hollow goes long, gets to centre wing. Front spot Coughlin, read by Laidley. Still time for North to mount one last attack. Winmar sets himself, gives away a free kick.
There's some tough lessons to be learned in AFL football for young players, and Austin Jones has been benched. He's on the phone now talking to Stan Els, as you see that replay, for trying to beat a player.
Oh, Carey launches himself and pay. Well, this is the worst possible scenario for Stan Els and the Saints. Well, he got rid of Wakeland in a hurry, Carey, and then launched himself. Got a bit of it, not a lot of it, and might have been a bit lucky. He's just as likely to kick this. You'd back him from here, wouldn't you? He's kicked 4, loves centre stage. The man for the big occasion has kicked North's last 4 goals. The siren sounded. This to put them 2 goals in front of three-quarter time. Goes for it. And misses. A let off. 4 goals, 2 to Carey. And maybe some justice there. Devonport upset. Absolutely ropeable with a decision given. And St Kilda fuming there. But at three-quarter time, David Howlett looking on at Craig Devonport at three-quarter time, Jared. They're well and truly in this ball game. There's not much in this one. It's 7 points the difference.
Well, after last week, this one should be a soda for the Saints because they're only travelling by 7 points. But importantly, they've got so much belief in themselves. It's their performance to date has been inspirational and it's been based upon, once again, persistence, courage at the ball, tackling in numbers. And Dennis Pagan certainly would be pretty worried, as you see the mark again from Wayne Carey. He just out-positioned Darryl Wakeland. Perhaps it could have been construed as a free kick to Darryl Wakeland, but it wasn't the case. So the scores at three-quarter time are St Kilda 8 goals 10-58. North Melbourne are in fact a handy lead over St Kilda 7-9-51. And we're set for a big last.
Final term 7-9 to 8-10. There were 6 free kicks apiece in that third term. Saints go to the right. They're playing for a place, these two teams, in the final of the Ansett Cup. The stakes are high. There's plenty of prize money attached. Coughlin plays on, goes to half forward. O'Brien and Lowe. Not many goals between that pair tonight. A couple each in the final term would be tremendous for them. Lowe's got one and O'Brien's got one. Wouldn't be great if they could finish with 3 each from a St Kilda point of view.
Coughlin just running with the ball through the centre when perhaps the big kick quickly into the forward line would have been the best option.
Lowe gets the tap. Goes to Lappin. Has to concede, but back to Anderson. Anderson at 50. Diving mark by King for North Melbourne. First goal pretty important here. It's 8-10 to 7-9. King goes out wide. Gets to Stevens. Stevens plays on to centre wing. Shanahan there. Haven't seen a lot of him, but gee, hasn't he been effective on Longmire? We've seen very little of Longmire. Scholl got it. Everett, most impressive. Swings onto the left. Important ball, gee, Keogh and Devonport. Devonport completely stopped when Keogh went for it. Was caught flat-footed in the end. Roberts clever. Carey goes for goal. Don't tell me. Hits the post. Well, he can do almost anything, can't he, Carey? 4 goals, 3. I know Dennis Pagan's been saying we're far from a one-man band. Of course, no league football team's a one-man band. But gee, this man tonight, after that first quarter onslaught, has just about kicked all of North Melbourne's score. It's 8-11 to 7-9.
Shanahan, like the kick in, goes to Devonport. Now Keogh spins out of trouble, well done, then lost it. Scott knocked it down. Shanahan comes away, well played by Keogh. The kick goes around the outer side, Low out of possession, tries to knock it down to his own advantage. Laidley was in the road, back to King. King drives down towards right half forward. Keogh again, Everett came back on him. Spills to the ground, socket off the ground by Stevens. Inside the 50, stopped down there by Zilla. Nicely done, brilliantly blanketed by Allison. It bounces to Rock, who misses to the right-hand side.
The desperation level of North Melbourne has just gone up a couple of gears.
Just going to make the point too, Jared. The number of hand passes smothered tonight, it really has been high, hasn't it?
It has, and it's a product of the pressure that, in particular, St Kilda have been putting on.
Shanahan missed the Beckett kick. It comes to Scholl, measures the return and puts it through. Body blow for the Saints, that one, early in the final term.
And we did point this out as a weakness of St Kilda, and it is a problem for them at the moment. The kick-ins from behinds for North Melbourne, and finally North Melbourne have made the most severe, made them pay the most severe of prices, because what a critical time to give away a goal.
North Melbourne out to 15 points. 9-12, 7-9. Shanahan flat-footed from that Peckett kick-in, and they did pay the price. Winmar, loser of this match, gets $38,500. The winner is assured of $74,500 in prize money. Low to full forward, bouncing ball, nobody home. It gains a bit of momentum. Smith gets back to mop up. Good kick. Capuano, Danilchenko. Both those have been on the interchange for much of the night. In the centre, Anderson held on to, no free. Good take by Rock to his lookalike Scott. Scott to half forward. Carey, well, I said 80% of the one-outs. He just keeps on getting them, doesn't he? He could kick this. He's only 50 metres out. Blue going on between Schwass and Hollow. Still going on. Schwass pretty upset there.
There was a North player down. It may have in fact been Schwass behind the play.
Carey from 55 metres gets underneath it. Goes right there. Longmire taps it back. Here's Schwass, left foot, tries to bring it back, and it's a behind. So North Melbourne doing the attacking in the early stages of this final term.
I didn't see what happened, but he was on the deck about 50 metres from the ball, just above Carey.
Well, he did clash bodies with Chris Hollow, enough said.
So Grant now gets the job of kicking it in. Goes short and finds Anderson. That's been the story so far tonight. The short pass to the pocket, normally from Pecker.
It's not effective really though. You're better off doing the little chip kick to yourself and getting the ball quickly to the wing.
Coughlin was up, put his hand to it. It falls behind Reynolds to Scholl. And Scholl hand passes across the boundary line. The umpire says throw it in. Craig Scholl, who played his 100th game against the Saints on this ground in round 17 last season. That day North won by 61 points. That won't be the margin tonight. This game's still up for grabs. North with the advantage. There's Zilla quickly onto the boot. Hucks the boundary line. Laidley gets across. Content to push it across the line. So it will be thrown in right on the wing. A vocal crowd as Shaw waits to come on. That's Damon Shaw. Capuano. Everett, two young tyros, joust out there. Everett did well, got it down to Burt. Not a particularly good kick, it's very high. It floats to half forward. Danilchenko, good grab. Well played by Martin. He kept Low out long enough. Just disrupted his run at the ball. Now Low is down. The umpire's gone across. No indication as yet. The kick will stand to Danilchenko. I didn't see what happened to Low. Danilchenko from half back goes towards half forward. Longmire got hands to it, fisted away by Shanahan. This is Armstrong, arches the back and comes away. Centres the ball, shows too much of it to Winmar. Superbly done into the path of Burke to half forward. Too much carry on the kick. Martin gets in behind to Laidley.
Laidley out to the wing. Blakey, who's struggled since Winmar put a tackle on him or attempted spoil on him in the third quarter. Saints bench. Already heard that Nichols unlikely to come back for North Melbourne. It's been a torrid affair. Kicks have been very hard to get. Winmar gets a quick one away. Pekin completely outnumbered. King takes on an opponent, gets around Jones a bit too easily. Then goes to centre half forward. Longmire, who's been quiet. Shanahan can't hold it in, you'll be in trouble. But holds it up, and it'll be a bounce about 85 metres from North Melbourne's goal.
Coughlin off for Thornborough, as you see Dean Anderson just resting the legs after a pretty good night.
Schwass quick kick, rolls along the ground, gets about 40 metres in the end. Hollow didn't take it cleanly, then put under pressure. Shaw punches it out of play about 50 metres from North Melbourne's goal. 7-9 to 9-13. Saints with plenty of fans out here. On a cool night, but a good night for football. And boy, the people who've made the trip to Waverley Park got their money's worth. Rock spins out, was just hoping to get a North Melbourne player on the end of it. Keogh a bit fortuitous, but ran onto it well. Goes into the centre, well played by Peckett. Up the ground now to half forward. O'Brien and Smith, one out. Oh, too good that time, Smith. Used good reach to take a good mark and then go out wide to Scholl, who kicked an important goal in the opening minutes of this final term. Scholl back, looking towards Allison, punches it on. Wakeland, Carey, well played Carey, gives Roberts a run of it, deep in the pocket, then gives him some confidence. Roberts brings it back, Armstrong on the end of it, still Armstrong, little right footer, and unfortunately didn't have the momentum, faded away at the end from behind. North up to 9-14 to 7-9.
Thornborough's come onto the ground to go into the ruck, a position he's pretty well suited to, perhaps even more so than centre half forward. And Everett has gone into the goal square for St.Kilda, giving them that extra height. Stuart Lowe out to centre half forward. Craig O'Brien coming off. being replaced by Dean Matthews.
As O'Brien and this revolving door policy of kicking it in continues. Wakeland this time does the job, finds Shaw and finds Burke. Still not up to the 50. The margin is 17 points. North in front. Short one to Devonport. Still inside the defensive 50. And North back in number now, certainly along this grandstand wing.
Stuart Lowe has got to push up and just provide the option.
Devonport wide. Lowe is the target. Well called, Jared. Lowe's got this ball, the defensive side of the wing. He's peeking up ahead. Lowe from well outside the boundary. Very high kick. Denelchenko from behind, intent on destruction. Got a fist in there. Blakey with a runner outside. Stevens has got it now. Kicks down towards the 50. Carey surrounded. Knocked away by Wakeland. Chance there for Allison. He overran the ball. Hollow in deep trouble. Played it very well. Lappin comes away. Runs out towards the middle. Aided and abetted by a good Shepherd. Comes out wide to Burke. There's a man at right half forward. That's Peckett. He takes it low down. He's away immediately. Centering kick. Everett lumbers up from full forward. Reynolds fists away. Laidley dives on top of the ball. Pekin slides in on him. Winmar tries to reef it back. Denelchenko slaps it out. Blakey's got it now. Scott comes away.
Terrific defensive play by the Kangaroos. Scott goes towards Longmire. Good stretch. Longmire centering ball. Carey on the end of it, is he? Bounce. Didn't favour him that time. Wakeland. Held up by Carey though. Back towards Burke. Keeps his eye on it. Swash. Gives away a free kick. Back to Keogh from Burke. Keogh at 50. Attacking it. Smith too good that time. Keeping his balance and taking a good mark against Matthews. Smith, who hasn't had a lot to do, but what he's done has been very effective. A cool man in a crisis. This is his 13th kick. It's been a very good mop-up job. Centre wing, Allison underneath it. Grant comes in. Ricochets that one. Martin has done a good job on Lowe. Stevens held up. Martin gets a quick kick away. Gets it up towards the 50. Carey sets himself. Damon Shaw, bouncing ball. Wakeland, good job. Got a kick away, but needs a bit of luck because North have the numbers. Stevens can measure the kick. Goes inside 50. Was looking for Roberts. Getting back. Well done, Hollow. Chipped in. And the ball has...
Umpire's played the mark.
What?
I think the ball might have been out. The second time he grabbed it. It's going to be a throw-in in the pocket.
Good communication there by the two umpires. Even Spud Frawley was a little bit amused at that one. So he got away with it.
Left forward pocket for North Melbourne. They lead 9 goals, 14 to 7-9.
Just over 11 minutes remain. Roberts off, hands open, goal, bounces it through. That makes it tough. (10-14 to 7-9), so the margin out to 23 points.
I've always questioned the use of part-time ruckman at boundary throw-ins because up against a decent ruckman, they usually get slaughtered. Well, on that occasion, there was no ruckman there, and it was such a poor tap-out. Should have gone straight back to the boundary line. Cost St.Kilda a goal.
North have pinched a break to 23 points, 10-14 to 7-9. Thornborough in the ruck for the Saints. Goes against Capuano, both pretty fresh. Thornborough gets a second go. Kicks it inside 50. Martin bangs it towards the boundary line. Reynolds after. This North Melbourne defence has been excellent. Reynolds close to the line. Brings it back only as far as Devonport. Is that 50? It is. Well, here's a good chance for Devonport against Stevens. What an important kick now for Craig Devonport. Guess not much in it, but it was very, very late. Was the key. Well, he's got big stats, Devonport. Kicked 1 goal in the third quarter. Will be kicking from about 45 metres. Really important kick this. Not bad off the boot. Fading away. Stanhouse just looking on. 7-10 to 10-14. Laidley gets it from Smith.
Goes out very wide towards the boundary. Lappin tries to fist it across. Scott heads for the boundary, and that will do as far as North are concerned. That last behind the first score for the Saints in this term. And when it comes to points production in the fourth quarters, if we go back to last season, St Kilda ranked 14th in the competition. They averaged only 18 points. By contrast, North the best with 30. There's Winmar, got it from Keogh. Inside the 50, Laidley. The defence is holding up pretty well. He comes across the ground. Here's Smith. He's at left half back. Great shepherd by Schwass. He enjoyed that as the ball comes to the wing. Stevens drops the mark. Uncharacteristically, 2-on-1. He wants to draw that man. Didn't succeed, so he kicks down to half forward. Longmire in front. Shanahan got the fist on it. It fell behind. Roberts feeds it back. Longmire gathers the bouncing ball. Off to Clarkson. Clarkson about 85 metres from goal. Kicks inside the 50. Carey comes up. Very clever mark. Pops it towards the kick-off line. Armstrong on his chest, or is it Rock? It's Rock down there. Any choice of a couple. And Rock can turn around now from 12 metres out, take the set shot, and extend this lead still further. That was a very clever mark by Carey, shielding the defender from the ball, and at the last moment just taking the mark low down. Rock right in front, gets the goal.
Good work there by Rock, teaming particularly well there by Carey. Carey could have gone back and taken the big pot shot from outside 50. Pretty poor percentage at that. And a good effort by Rock to find some space. And he'd come up with the mark only 10 metres out. Important takeaway now for St Kilda. They must get it.
Rock, who's kicked 3 points prior to that goal tonight. With 1-3, Carey a dominant player on the ground, isn't he? He's had 11 marks and 14 kicks and 7 handballs. And kicked 4 goals. They're great statistics for a bloke who tonight, I guess you'd say Wakeland's done pretty well, but in the wash-up, those stats for Carey are decisive. 7-10 to 11-14. Big margin of 28 points. All of a sudden here, Saints desperate for the next goal. Thornborough goes with Capuano, and Schwass over the top of it with Zilla and also Anderson. And that great fervour that St Kilda played with in that third quarter just seems to have gone for the moment. Thornborough again. Capuano works to the front. Thornborough got it down. Shaw got a quick kick away to centre half forward. Quick kick by Devonport towards the goal square. Everett getting back. North Melbourne with numbers. Kitchen couldn't quite get it away. Gets a second go at it. Oh, fumbles again. Look completely disorientated. Ball comes out to Reynolds to mop up. Goes straight to the boundary line. Finds it. Well, young Kitchen had a couple of chances there to get hold of the footy. But all at sea, and it was lost. This North Melbourne defence has been miserly. It's a good one. Martin, Smith, Devonport takes on his man, takes on a second man, gets caught. Didn't do it very well at all. It was slow motion, wasn't it, in the end? Smith away. You take someone on, you've got to do it with power and pace.
There's a habit, though, that Craig Devonport has shown us every time almost he's got the ball tonight. Kicked the goal of the night in doing it, so it has its pluses. But it can also bring you undone, as Austin Jones, Aussie Jones, in fact, found out.
Denelchenko out to King on the run. Winmar runs him down.
Yeah, Winmar got him. Blakey. Winmar battling on strongly. Hollow slides in there, but King merges with the ball. Whistle, though. It's coming back to Winmar, who deserved a free. Battled hard in there. Kicks towards half forward. Pekin drifting back, takes the mark, runs on. Pulls it back towards the middle once more. Low with great courage again. Couldn't hang on. Anderson in trouble. Martin. The hand pass not particularly effective. Went directly to Pekin. Right on the 50. Burke, that's clever. Laid it down into the path of Zilla. Another hand pass smothered by King, who was pushed in the back and will get the free. The hallmark of this game tonight. And yet something else emerging in this game. As Laidley kicks towards the outer side, coaches constantly looking for an edge, and that's been something both these sides have worked hard on tonight. Pickett back inside the 50. Everett, big leap.
they found one, don't you, tonight? You can just see the emergence of Everett tonight.
He's done pretty well.
Well, it's a lot more difficult to contain two big forwards. All the players for North Melbourne thought it was going to low, and unawares overcame the big fellow.
Got to have a goal here. The margin is 28 points. With his side down, Everett goes for goal. Great kick. Back to 22 points now.
Well, still not impossible, this one, Bruce. St Kilda have to get a couple out of the centre and get it down to big Everett, perhaps Stuart Lowe. And as you said, Bruce, he certainly has shown a little bit, the boy from Hastings on the Mornington Peninsula.
Saints still alive, 8-10 to 11-14, 58 to 80. Everett with his first goal of the match. Shaw out of the centre, well done. Just gets it towards centre half forward. Winmar, Blakey, free kick Winmar. Now he's a booming kick, Winmar. Everett's in the goal square. Where's Lowe? Lowe getting back there. Maybe the long high ball's the way to go. Winmar goes for distance. He's got a couple of chances. Or did Everett interfere with Lowe that time? King was away. They read it well, North Melbourne. Chips it out wide. Too far for Scott. Lappin and Scott. Well done by Lappin. Gee, he's a promising young player. Centering kick, a good one to Anderson at 50. Saints still coming home. Shaw outside 50. Goes in long, high. It's close. Just not quite making it. It's a behind. It's a point. Bit of dramatics afterwards, but the goal umpire had signalled. And St Kilda at 8 goals 11. Hollow, who looked to be running out of puff, has gone to the bench. Was involved in a little tete-a-tete with Schwass about 8 or 9 minutes ago. 8 goals 11 St Kilda. 11 goals 14 North Melbourne. The winner into the final on Saturday week of the Ansett Australia Cup to play either the Sydney Swans or the Adelaide Crows.
One of the differences tonight, the kick-ins. Let's see what eventuates this time as Smith goes wide. Target Capuano. Thornborough over the top. Shanahan. Devonport from 60 back towards full forward. Blakey worked out of the contest. In from the side, Damon Shaw is marked 15 metres out. The Saints not done with yet. Gee, they've shown some fight in this Ansett Australia Cup. Smith is down. They were challenged at East Fremantle Oval by the Dockers. They came back there. Carlton had them down. They came back again, and they're coming back here. Smith gets the goal. Well, rather Shaw got the goal. There's Smith. He's got the cork.
And one of the downsides of the zone defence and the fact that the defenders are all running away trying to pick up an easy kick is that if there's a quick turnover, they don't know where their man is. Damon Shaw got an easy shot at goal.
2 goals in 3 minutes, and the Saints are back within 15 points. 9-11 to 11-14. Big ball now out of the centre square. Which way will it go? St Kilda punch it forward. Winmar provides a shepherd. Burt goes towards full forward. Low with a big stretch. Oh, didn't come to ground. Everett with the right foot. Bouncing ball. Will it take a break in their favour? It goes to the boundary line. Did it come off the North Melbourne player? Winmar says it did. It's out of bounds in the right forward pocket. North Melbourne bench. Brett Allison conspicuous there, along with Nichols and Ashenko. Well, a goal here would give the Saints plenty of time to pull off another miraculous win. Still 4.5 minutes remaining. Thornborough gets his hands to it. Goes to the ground. Kitchen ducks. Can't quite get a kick away. Smith's made a recovery. Goes towards Rock. Peckett runs it out. It's at 50 metres. St Kilda are 9-11. North Melbourne 11-14.
Boundary throw in. Damon Shaw got their last goal for the Saints. They have 9 individual goal scorers tonight. They really have shared the load. Wide of the pack on his knees. Clarkson to Danilchenko. Danilchenko along the ground. Martin keeps it in. Oh, that bounce inside the field of play. Just a boundary throw in. It's a game of inches at the moment. And North have the lead. A boundary throw in on their left half-back flank.
Schenko coming onto the ground. Perhaps they're concerned with Everett's height advantage over Keenan Reynolds in the goal square.
Game of centimetres. Over the top, Thornborough gets it down. Jones robbed of the ball by Stevens. Stevens runs away from the wing. Still Stevens, about 75 metres out. He sets it up for Carey, who kept his eye on the ball all the way. And he's marked about 25 metres out. That was classical stuff, initially by Stevens to run at the defence. Carey was always going to be the target. You can see Carey, he was looking back over his right shoulder initially, and once Wakeland stopped looking at the ball, he was sunk. A lot to think about when you're standing this man in a game of football. He's going at his 5th. Carey puts it through. That's a big goal.
This is a great piece of play here by Stevens. He knew that he only had to put the ball high in the air and he'd strand young Wakeland. And he was helpless, as you said, Dennis. Once he took his eyes off the ball, looking for the man, he was gone.
Five goals to Carey. North Melbourne 12-14 to 9-11. 19-point margin. Campbell. Through the centre, goes towards full forward. Carey turns inside out. Still Carey, one bounce. Oh, he's a genius. He's a fantastic player as the king.
You've got to say Wakeland doesn't deserve this either, does he?
Well, you say that he's had an average night, but if average is 16 kicks, 12 marks and 6 goals, gee, Mr. Average is standing pretty tall in league footy, isn't he?
And 4 in the second half, Bruce, when the game was on the line.
He makes the most of every opportunity. He turns what a 50% plays into 100% plays. He's a very special athlete and a special player in this special game of footy. And North have now buried them, you'd reckon, at 13-14 to 9-11.
He ends up getting ruck rover stats, and we'll just ask our chief statistician, Kevin, to perhaps find out how many players on the ground have in fact got more touches than Wayne Carey, who's playing in the position where, well, it's just not right that you get that many touches.
No. Begs the question, has there been a better centre-half forward? It's going to be so important to North Melbourne this season.
He's coming off, sorry Dennis, he's now coming off, Carey, off the ground.
Well, a job well done. Wakeland tracks into the interchange gates. Wayne Carey, 6 goals tonight, and his side is in the grand final. I think back to last season from memory, he fronted the tribunal on 4 occasions. He missed 5 weeks. They can ill afford that this season because with Carey rides so many of North's hopes. This is Wakeland relishing the fact Carey's off the ground, gets a kick immediately. Not a particularly effective kick. Pushed in the back down there was Matthews, and the ball must come back. So we're down to just over 2 minutes now. North Melbourne will go on, and of course they'll play the winner, as Bruce said, of the match between Sydney and Adelaide. Now at Football Park, it's a huge contract for the Sydney Swans. Gee, they look good in Downing Footscray, who will play on Tony Lockett. Thornborough goes up, takes the mark. Thought about the hand pass, elects not to. From the wing, goes down towards half forward. King has to wait. That's a very good effort on his chest. King, one of 5 first-year players last year for North, played 19 games, 22 years of age. Here's Martin. Go for distance now along the members' side. Longmire, 2-on-1. Lowe couldn't hang on. Scott in the perfect position, couldn't control it. Zilla got it across to Anderson. And now Thornborough.
Goes back to Lappin at centre wing. Up to centre half forward. Jones in the front spot. And big mark at the back by King. Well, in answer to your question, Jared, just 3 players have had more touches than Carey, and they've all come from the Saints, Anderson, Burke and Devonport, so Carey's had more possessions than any other North Melbourne player, and he's playing at centre half forward. He's kicked 6 goals. Free kick to Zilla at centre wing.
Kicking in danger, Bruce. We don't often see that. 30 free kicks to 13 tonight.
That is one of the old dinosaurs kicking in danger. 13-14 to 9-11. Goal to Zilla tonight. Not a lot of touches.
Done a pretty good job on Wayne Swass though for most of the night.
Ex-Woodville West Torrens, where he won the best and fair, or the best player on the ground in the grand final 2 years ago. Low, his 7th mark to Damon Shaw, to centre half forward. Danichenko, who's done pretty well since coming on. Still a teenager, played just a couple of games in the last 2 years for an aggregate of 4. He's been at the club since he was 16 years of age. Clarkson in the centre. He too was an early starter back in the mid-80s. Goes to centre half forward. Grant couldn't take it. Schwass gets back quickly. He's a good retriever, Swash. And it's going to be a bounce down. So St Kilda's brave drive in this Ansett Australia Cup finally comes to an end in the semi-finals. They collect $38,500 for the club, and a lot of confidence and goodwill along the way to take them into the Coca-Cola home and away series. As the siren sounds, a terrific match at Waverley Park, highly entertaining. A match that I think has left the punters pretty happy in the end. 9 goals, 11 to 13-14. Not John Longmire's mark, but I keep coming back, Jared, to the fact that Wayne Carey was the difference between the two teams, particularly after that onslaught early by North Melbourne.
Well, 2 weeks in a row, particularly after his match against Essendon. He does it once again against St Kilda and dippers down on the ground.
Thanks very much, Jared. Well, grand final next week. Looking forward to that one, I suppose.
Oh yeah, it'll be terrific next week. I mean, St Kilda were great tonight. I mean, they really have a red-hot go at you. They're going to be a good side this year.
It was a tough game out there tonight.
Yeah, it was a tough game. I mean, they just have a go all night. You know, they've got a lot of young guys that really put in. I think they'll have a good year.
Now, in that last quarter, the half-back line once again blocked everything.
Yeah, well, the half-back line's been going all right at the moment, you know, but we're looking for improvement all over the ground. We'll have to if we're going to win next week.
Okay, thanks very much.
Thanks, Dipper.
John Blakey there with the Big Dipper, Robert Dipper, Domenico, as the Saints go off. North Melbourne come off the ground. Well, they're odds-on favourites to win the Ansett Australia Cup, and they're the second favourites to win the premiership at the end of the year. Wayne Swass there with Keenan Reynolds and John Blakey. But good performance by North, strongly challenged by the Saints, and they were able to come through.
They showed that they were they are a champion side. They've got a big challenge coming up, whether it be the Sydney Swans or in fact the Crows.
Well, Archer, Crocker, Fairley, McAdam, McKernan and Pyman missing. Crocker probably out for the season. Archer about 5 weeks away. Fairly close. McAdam 3 or 4 weeks ago away, and they say McKernan will be ready for the first of the home and away season. So there's still some more strength to come.
And also plenty to enthuse about for St Kilda supporters. Craig Devonport, I thought, had a good night. Perhaps he does try to beat too many players. Damon Shaw and Nathan Burke ran themselves into a bit of form, and I thought David Grant's game was probably the best I've seen for quite some time.
That's the good thing as far as the Saints are concerned. You get the feeling for the first time in a long time there's something up ahead for them. Now, it may not be this year, and the danger, I guess, is the expectations are suddenly too high for this year, but it's just around the corner. It may be this year, but certainly, if you're a Saint fan, you should be smiling tonight regardless.
So the final scores at Waverley Park in the first of the semi-finals. In the end, North Melbourne